Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of J Socials. Wow, where do we start? Where do we start? Manchester United is in crisis right now. This is crisis mode, guys. Take it back to my previous videos last season, and these were red flags, warning signs. But because we were getting results, your man Rashford was scoring goals. Everybody overlooked it. And I'll be honest, I was part of those people as well. I was part of the people who ignored the red flags, brushed it under the carpet, thinking it was nothing great, nothing crazy. But this season has started. This is looking like Ole's last season, guys. This is looking like the bald Ole right now. And I don't know where to start. We've lost 6 games out of 10. 6 games out of 10, 2 in the Champions League. So now we literally have to win our next 3 games in the Champions League because the last game against Bayern Munich, let's just write that off. Let's just write that off because, sorry, just give me a second here. Sorry. Let's just write that game off because we know what's going to happen. There's no way this team is beating that Bayern Munich team after what we saw in the first leg, right? There was a 3-2 scoreline, but that 3-2 scoreline flattered us, guys. Oh, is it 4-3? It was 4-3. It flattered us, guys. So we now need to win against Copenhagen twice, and then the return leg in Galatasaray. That's what we need to do now. We need to win those games, those 3 games, and then hope that Copenhagen, Galatasaray drop points against each other, and obviously against Bayern Munich, guys. So Champions League, I said at the beginning of the season, from the summer, I was in New Jersey, guys. I was in New Jersey, MetLife Stadium, the Manchester United season preseason kickoff versus Arsenal, and we won that game 2-0. But I was worried, guys. I was worried. All over the place. The preseason, whether it was against Real Madrid, all the other teams, guys, like there was no shape. He rotated the entire squad, which is fine. Like we want rotation now, but in preseason, yes, you're supposed to rotate, but you want to have your starting 11 have a structure, which he did not. Which he did not, guys. Which he did not. Now let's take it to the Burnley game, guys. Like we're gonna talk about Wolves. Luckily, won that game 1-0. All the results we've had, guys, has just always been either lackluster. Luckily, won it. The Arsenal game, guys. The Arsenal game. Everybody was going on that. Oh, we played really well. We played really well. We played really well. We played really well, guys. I don't think we played well. I think we just We hung on to that game. We didn't play well. Arsenal didn't perform to the level as which we've seen them perform in the last season and a half. They just didn't perform. So that's why it looked like we played well. Guys, this is Manchester United. This is Manchester United, guys. This is Manchester United. And we're talking about we played well when we packed the bus against Arsenal. We played so defensively, guys. That's not playing well if we're talking about Manchester United standards. That's not playing well. The Burnley game, that was the game that was the straw that broke the camel's back, guys. That Burnley game. That was a straw, guys. Not the game last night against Galatasaray, not the Crystal Palace on the weekend. Not that. It was the Burnley game, guys, because I watched that game and I didn't watch it live, but I heard about it. But I always watch every game, win or lose. It's live or not live. I'll always watch it because I want to see why did we do well or why did we lose. I always want to know. I'm a true fan. We're all true fans here. So let's start. I was talking about the Burnley game. First 20 minutes, we do all right. We huff and puff, which has been pretty much all season. The first 20 minutes, we huff and puff. We're with the ball. The other team sits back, just kind of figuring out, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then after 20 minutes, the team realizes, first of all, we don't score. And then the team realizes, oh, this is what they're trying to play. And then they kick into gear, and then we concede, heads down, game over. This has been Manchester United all season. And it's very disappointing, guys. It's extremely disappointing. You know, on the field, nothing's working for Ten Hag. Off the field, nothing's working for Ten Hag. Anthony is returning after the whole sexual assault scandal and all that. Guilty or not, that's not what I want to talk about today. Sancho, the saga with Sancho, I don't know. We talked about how Sancho was one of our better players during preseason. The beginning of the season, when he would come on with Eriksen, he would change the game. Him and Eriksen would change the game. We'll start playing good football. We'll start trying something between him and Eriksen. We'll be trying things. But Sancho goes on the bench. Ten Hag says he doesn't train well. What? Doesn't train well. Sancho just reminds me of an employee who is just not happy with the system and not happy with the favoritism that goes on within the club, as we've seen. And now that things are finally falling apart, we're now beginning to see the favoritism glaring right at us. Doesn't matter if certain players play well or not, they get into the team sheet. They get into the team sheet, guys. They get onto the team sheet. People were trying to scapegoat Casemiro. Why are you scapegoating Casemiro for? He's our top goal scorer right now. 2 against Bayern Munich. He scored what? He scored, I think, 4 in the last 6 games, guys. But he's the scapegoat. He's a scapegoat because we're conceding. He's a scapegoat because we're conceding, guys. The whole Sancho Ten Hag thing is pretty funny because it's very similar to the Paul Pogba and Mourinho saga that happened. It's the exact same thing. And you know what? I do not expect Sancho to apologize. And you know why? Because first of all, Sancho probably kicked up a storm because he's like, you're not picking me. We're not playing good football. You want me running like a headless chicken all game and telling me that I'm not trying because I don't run like Bruno. I'm not head down like Rashford. So because of that, I'm not good enough for you because I don't run like Malacia. I'm not good enough for you now. But you're not playing good football. You're not playing football that players want to come in, especially technical players, want to come in and actually understand the gameplay. And I'm not surprised that Sancho hasn't apologized. You know why he hasn't apologized? Because who's going to stay? Sancho or Ten Hag at this moment in time? Because right now, Ten Hag is losing that battle. Because all it takes is a new coach to come in with a different system that holds the ball, keeps the ball, moves the ball well, and all of a sudden, Sancho slots back into that team, guys. We're always looking for this directness players, Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes, Rashford. But on the big stage, guys, these one-man football doesn't work. This bulldozing football doesn't work. Glory balls, head down, trying to dribble 5 guys. It doesn't work when you get to the big stage, guys. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. We keep talking about owners. Guys, Manchester United is not the first club that has bad owners. Look at Juventus. Look at Barcelona. A lot of teams have bad owners. Let me break that to you. Just like at your work, regular people, How many times do the average Joe complain about, oh, my manager is this, or management is this, or I didn't get this promotion because of XYZ? Guys, not many people have great managements, man. It's just the reality of life. But the one thing we cannot deny is that the Glazers have spent money. They've spent money, guys. Coaches come in, they want their players, they throw some players on the bus. Like, guys, man, they've spent money. These are Ten Hag's players. And maybe out of them, I can't even tell you who has been successful right now. Because even Martinez, that everybody was raving about last season, oh, he's the best defender, it's the best center back. This guy can't even start for Argentina. And now we're beginning to see it that somebody actually, I was watching one of the shows and somebody actually referred to him, like somebody actually compared him to Araujo. Araujo, man. Just aggressive, getting yellow cards every game, guys. Come on, man. Let's not kid ourselves. Shaw keeps getting contracts, even though he's injured, keeps getting contracts. Managers come in, they look at who is the fan favorite. Bruno Fernandes, Rashford. Okay, we're going to play these guys so the wheels fall off. How can you ever, when you can never, guys, the thing about football is, so let me finish the one point I was trying to make about the owners. And this is why I don't typically blame the owners as much, because a lot of the information that we get from the owners is what we've read, whether it's from Paul Merson or The Athletic or whatever it may be, whatever articles that you subscribe to or channels that you subscribe to. That's what we hear about what's going on within management, guys. Just like any company, you're not in the executive room. You're not in the executive room. So all you're hearing is he said, she said. Well, what I can judge is what's on the pitch, what I can see with my two eyes. And currently, there's nothing exciting me. There's nothing that's telling me, oh, we're going to do something. There's nothing. There's no football to see, guys. There's no football. It's the same thing on the Ole. I remember this was under Ole, and everybody was like, give him time, give him time. Everybody always throws this. Alex Ferguson struggled in his first 3 seasons. Give him time, Arteta, blah, blah, blah. And one thing I used to say, the difference between Arteta and Ole at the time, and now Arteta, or whoever the coach is, Ange Postecoglou from Tottenham, maybe that's the new guy, right? That's the new guy everybody's looking at. He's doing well, the manager of the season, potentially. The difference is you saw what they were trying to do on the pitch. They just didn't have the right players for it. The issue that we have right now is we don't know what we're trying to do on the pitch. So we don't even know what player is going to work for a system that we don't even know. So we can give Ten Hag another $200 million or pounds, and we could still end up in the same situation because we don't know what football he's trying to do, what he's trying to play. So if you don't know what football you're trying to play, how do you know how to get the players that are going to fit into that system? Like, what are we talking here, man? Are we just trying to play rock and roll football, individual brilliance? Maybe just runs, counter attacks, and like, what are we trying to do, guys? What are we really trying to do? What are we really trying to do? Guys, man, we've been talking about things and people keep saying, oh, you're negative, give it time, this, that. I'm like, guys, the excuses are running out, man. The story stays the same, but the excuses never run out, guys. The story stays the same, but the excuses never run out. For certain people, guys, it never runs out. I remember this clearly. This was summer, and everybody was like, yo, David De Gea needs to go. David De Gea needs to go. David De Gea needs to go. And I'm like, guys, man, We have surgery. Ralph Ragnick said it. I actually had a video on that was titled Man United needs open heart surgery. Ralph Ragnick. We have issues to address. We're talking about getting a number 9, getting more ball playing midfielder, somebody who can drive the ball, somebody who can command the midfield alongside Casemiro. And yeah, you can throw Bruno in there because Bruno always seems to be thrown into everything because it's crazy. And I remember everyone was like, no, De Gea's got to go because of the Seville mistake he made in the semifinals of the Europa League or quarterfinals. I can't even remember. And I'm like, guys, I totally understand your sentiment about De Gea, like your whatever you're thinking about De Gea. I do understand that, but I'm like, I haven't seen enough from Onana to be so convinced that I'm going to drop 55 million, get rid of the keeper who has been with us for so long, who has been our best player in the last probably 5 out of the last 10 seasons. He's been our best player, guys. You cannot deny that. Last season, he finished Golden Glove. Between him and Rashford, they were hands down our best players from a statistic standpoint, production standpoint. They were 2 of our best players. 2 of our best players. Because it's not about, I'm not saying that De Gea should have stayed long term, but you keep him 1 extra term, you renew his contract for 1 more season, fill up the other gaps that you need to fill up, and then, because at the end of the day, keeper mistakes, typically, yes, you can have individual errors, like as a keeper, but a lot of times, the individual mistakes that do happen is honest because of how our team is structured and how our team plays. When we're always hanging on to a draw, we're always hanging on to a 1-goal lead against every team, you're putting your defense and your keepers under tremendous pressure, guys. You're always keeping them under tremendous pressure. And we've seen it now with Onana. I'm not saying that Onana is a failure. I'm not saying that he's not going to be successful. But guys, all I'm just trying to say was we were at least 1 season too early with the whole De Gea exit. That money could have been better spent on a different position. I mean, also we talk about number 9s who we needed. Look at how long we fought for Mason Mount when we should have just taken that money and gotten Amrabat, and then maybe got Mason Mount on loan. You know what I mean? We're just doing things backwards, guys. Extremely backwards. I look at all the talented number 9s in the Premier League, but we always seem to just go to some unknown land and pick up a player. Yeah, he played for Højlund played for Atalanta, but let's be honest, before we got linked to him, nobody knew who this kid was. Nobody knew who this kid was. And I'm not saying that we can't take risk on players that we don't know, because we've seen it across the league. We've seen Brighton, we've seen Brentford, we've seen all those teams that were able to take unknown players and make them successful. We know that, but United is a whole different machine and beast, guys. Why? A whole different machine. So we can't be taking such risk as our number 9. I get it on the bench. I get it if he's an understudy. But guys, this is Manchester United, man. We can't be having makeshift number 9s. Makeshift number 9s. Makeshift number 9s, guys. Absolutely ridiculous. And the last thing I wanted to just kind of talk about here too was, with all this rant, people keep talking about this is not Ten Hag's players. Oh, Ten Hag did not get his top choice. Most coaches do not get their top choice, guys. Look at Real Madrid, for example. Let me use Real Madrid, the most successful football team in the world, Real Madrid. Do you think the coaches actually pick those players in terms of who's purchasing players and all that? No. Do you know who picks those players? Florentino Perez. Yeah, you're going to have your targets. Yeah, he might give you, I need this person, I need that person. There might be a little bit of targets here and there. But the big players, the only difference is Florentino Perez, because of Real Madrid's status and, success, the players that he does pick are typically the best players in the world, which in return the coach is happy with. Oh yeah, who's not going to want to get Jude Bellingham? You know what I mean? Or Benzema, or all these guys that have come through Real Madrid. Who's not going to want them? That's the only difference. But in terms of picking your players, not every team has the luxury as Pep Guardiola, Man City, where Pep kind of now he's earned the right to pick his players. Look at Klopp. Look at Klopp, the mighty Klopp. Even the mighty Klopp doesn't pick his players. Like how many? Look at the targets that he was supposed to be getting, that he never got. Yeah, they wouldn't accept the Mo Salahs and the Manes, Sadio Manes. Yes, they became successful, but that's because of Klopp. Because Klopp has a system. That's why even though he did not get his top targets, he still made it work, guys. He still made it work, and that's what makes a coach. That's what makes a coach. If you're just relying on, if all you're doing is just relying on big names to come in so that way you can play the football that you want, it's like, guys, man, then I can do that job. Any one of you can do that job. Any one of you can do that job. This summer, I'm just pissed, but at the same time, not really, because I saw this coming. I'm just pissed to witness it, and it's one of those things whereby you never want this period to come. That's as a fan, you never want it to come, even though you see it going that way. You never want it to come, but unfortunately, it's here, guys. It's here, and now we've got to make a decision as a club on if we're going to stick it out with Ten Hag. But come on, guys, we're already middle of a table. We're pretty much out of Champions League at this point. It's going to be a miracle to get out. A lot of things have to work in our favor to get out of the Champions League. I don't even know if we're going to qualify for Europa League. I'm not sure how that works, where teams drop into Europa League. But at this point, I don't really care. That's more games that we have to play in a thin squad. We keep saying, oh, the squad is so thin. So I don't really want to play Europa League, guys. I don't really want to play Europa League. I don't really want to play Europa League. So I don't know where to go from here, guys. But the one thing I wanted to just say is, do we keep Ten Hag? What is the solution? But for right now, I say no. And everybody that's out there saying, oh, but we've done this before. We've been down this road. We've gotten coaches and they haven't. Guys, I'm going to say it out loud. What coaches have we really gotten? What coaches have we really gotten? After Ferguson, David Moyes, we already knew that he was not fit for the job. Van Gaal, way past his prime. This guy was huge in the 90s. We were trying to bring him 20 years later. Come on, guys. He was already past his prime, but he did all right. Mourinho came in, Mourinho had massive respect for Mourinho, but he just literally finished 17th with Chelsea the season prior. But we scooped him up. He did his thing for the first season and a half, maybe. Same, down tools, everything, whatever the issue with the club and whatnot. Then we brought in Ole. Ole came in, and then what? Ole, we knew he was not experienced for the job. Yeah, we had a great first 6 months with him, or first 3 months, I should say. There were factors that made Ole come second. But at the end of the day, guys, and then after Ole, we had Rangnick, who was just a stopgap. And then now we have Ten Hag, who is literally has been an understudy for Pep. Yeah, that's great. He went far in the Champions League back in 2018 or something like that. But guys, that was 2018. That's 4 or 5 years ago, man. And he's only coached pretty much big. It's Ajax, and Ajax is not that much of a big club. It's like a Brighton. Everything it's a well-oiled machine. So fans that are saying that we've been down this road, and we shouldn't take a chance on another coach and give Ten Hag more time. Guys, man, no. We keep trying till we find the coach that matters. And that shows the coaches that are coming in, they ain't got much time. So it's either you have a plan or you get out. You shit or you get off the pot. It's as simple as that, man. These guys are getting paid way too much to be given way too much time, guys. Way too much. Because your job, your employer is not going to give you this much time for some basic salary. So why does a coach like Ten Hag, with all the millions he's earning, get much time? Why? When you and I that don't have this job, we don't have the experience, we can see what's going on. At least we can try to see what's going on based on the team selection, how the team is shaped, all that stuff. But he's the experienced guy, and he keeps doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. Guys, it speaks for itself, man. So that was just my little spiel. We are literally in trouble. I don't know where this is going to end. It's a sinking ship that we don't know. We're trying to block all these holes and all that stuff. But guys, man, it's either there's two things that have to happen right now. The club needs to be sold, or we need to get a new manager. But which is the easier option right now? We all know which is the most realistic option is Ten Hag. He's got to go. Can he turn it around? I hope he does. And then I can come back here and say, guys, you know what? I put my hands up. I put my hands up. I don't know what I was thinking by saying that. But at the end of the day, I probably wouldn't say I don't know what I was thinking, because I'm speaking based on what I'm seeing presently, right? So, and it's not even just the season. Last season as well, like after the Carabao Cup, we just went flat. We lost a lot of games, like because we did so well at the beginning of the season, the first half of the season. That took us till, so it was hard for us to lose that many points. But guys, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a time where top four wasn't really guaranteed. There was a time where it wasn't really guaranteed for us last season around the end. And then we saw that embarrassing performance against Man City in the FA Cup finals. And then another embarrassing, first of all, the Carabao Cup finals against Newcastle, we got lucky on that one. We ran away with that. But I'm going to give credit where it's due. The finals against City, horrendous. And then, what was the other one that we had? Who else did we play? We played City, right? Was City our last game? Yeah, City was our last game. I thought there was another thing I thought there was another tournament that we screwed up. Oh yeah, Seville. Yeah, Seville. I forgot about Seville. Yeah, and then Seville happened. Yeah, you can blame that on De Gea, but come on, guys. Against Seville, we shouldn't be hanging on to a 1-0 lead, or actually we were down 1-0 at the time, or 2-0. I can't remember what we were. We were down 1-0 at the time with 20 minutes to go or 10 minutes to go. I can't remember. But guys, we shouldn't, in the semifinals in the Europa League semifinals against Seville, Manchester United, the great Manchester United, the Premier League is the best league in the world. Every other league is the Farmers League. All this BS that Premier League fans just keep spilling about other leagues and other teams. We shouldn't have been down 1-0 or 2-0 at the time. So De Gea made the mistake, but I don't think that mistake would have changed. If he didn't make it, I don't think it would have changed anything. It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have changed anything. So, guys, man, it's about putting things into context. It is what it is. The damages have been done. All we can do now is try to turn these losses into wins, or at least some draws. We need some draws in here, man. We need some draws, guys. We can't, at least, it's one thing to take a draw, but taking L's, man, like, when does this end? When does it end? Just taking L's every time that United plays. I don't even want to watch United these days. I just know it's going to be an L. Some guy over the weekend was like, because I walked in, I'm asking, what's the lineup? He's like, you didn't look at the lineup? I was like, who's playing? I was like, wait, who's that guy? Who's playing? And he's like, you didn't look at the lineup? I'm like, why do I need to look at the lineup? It's the same lineup. I know the players we have, or at least I know the players that the coach likes. So I don't need to know what the lineup is. I just need to know who the person I was watching. But anyways, it's been great, guys. I really appreciate it. It's been a while since I've released the video. Just been busy with different things in my life. But hopefully we can come back, and please continue to like, share, subscribe. It means a lot. Till next time, take care.